Hey guys, this is Rise bringing you another commentary, and I have a special guest for you. You may recognize him. Yeah, there he is. You can see him today. We're doing this in the high tech world of the 2020s. I guess is that what do you call this decade? It's not the Roaring Twenties again, is it?
I don't know if roaring is quite the right term, but there's definitely going to be a colorful term to describe these 20s. That's for sure. The way they're going.
Yeah, they're starting off with a bang. That's for sure. But we've got a special episode to bring to you. I've heard it already. A few people mentioning they'd like to see a old school dual cast, and I found the man, the myth, the legend, the Moletrap, to join me here today. And I'm excited to have him here with me. He is one of my favorites to do dual casts with. A guy I get very, very well along with, and looking forward to casting this game with them. We are, just before I let him talk a little bit, we are going to cast a game from the BSL, the Boombastic Star League, which is the Foreigner Star League that we've been doing some games from. And we're watching a game between Bonyth and Terror. And these are some two top-tier players for the BSL, for the Foreigner scene. Terror being a, I believe, Peruvian Terran player. God, I hope I didn't get that wrong. He's gonna maybe we just go with South American, just in case. And Bonyth, I think a lot of people know him, the European Protoss player who won the last BSL, and they're playing on a map called what was this map called again?
This is called Reap the Storm.
Reap the Storm. You want to talk to the crowd a little bit about the map, Moletrap?
Sure. I'll talk about the map. So yes, hello everybody. I'm pretty sure all of our fans kind of know both of us at this point, but yeah, man. I'm very excited to be casting with you as well. We've been talking about it a little bit here and there, and we're finally putting it together after I was a little bit like flaky on my email and stuff for a little bit, but
just like old times.
This. Soup, that's true. You know, I don't know if I told you, I was looking through some old emails the other day, and I found the email thread from 2009 when the two of us and Diggity and like 3 or 4 other guys were all like reply-alling to make sure that like every single pro game was casted by one of us. And so we'd be like, I'm going to do the Pro League series, and someone would be like, I'm going to do this other round of 16 group, and so we like kind of coordinated. So
I remember. In fact, that email chain was so long it breaks the Gmail 100 reply limit.
Yeah.
And broke into like yeah, it just keeps going.
So anyway, this is a map called Reap the Storm, which doesn't make sense if you think about it. Like, what are you gonna be like? What are you reaping from the storm? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that works exactly, but it's a 3 spawn map, and so that's why you can see our blue player has actually scouted the 3rd location. So if you kind of look at the minimap, you can kind of see like the pattern between the 3 spots. So the Protoss has scouted that Terran last, but it's okay. And it's a space map. It's got a natural expansion that's very easy to take with a kind of a wide choke. And then like once you start thinking about taking a 3rd base, though, it gets a little bit crazy because the 3rd base is very far away. It has its own ramp, and then there's like some raised expansions on the sides. You could, of course, try and take the 3rd main as well, theoretically. So there's a lot of kind of places to go. So if it gets that long in this game that we're getting to 3rd bases, it'll be curious to see where the Protoss ends up taking that. So
yeah,
anyway, a little bit of standard stuff going on here, just scouting each other out, and got our Terran bunkering up and making an extra command zone on the high ground. So it looks like it is going to be a longer game.
A little scary when you look at that 3rd, especially against a Terran with some tanks, right? They'd be able to take those mining probes out really quickly. A couple of siege shots, and man, you clear out that whole base if you're not looking for it. So Protoss probably going to be a little careful in where he chooses to take his 3rd, but Bonyth for now is getting that natural expansion up and running. He's on 1 gateway, and the Robo facility is coming out. He's got 2 goons, though, that are up on the high ground, but the tank comes out with a few SCVs to help protect this. And Bonyth is forced to hang out at the bottom. No, actually, with range finishing, he's going after it again and almost gets the tank. Almost gets him.
That was pretty close. Siege Tech is still about 10 seconds away from finishing, so this supply depot is going to take some damage. It's going to be a little bit back and forth. Don't expect that depot to actually go down or the tank to actually fall if he's paying attention to micro. But he's so confident in defeating these goons that the command center is actually on its way floating out there, and it's like, wait, nope, a little bit premature. Got to run back to the high ground. But yeah, that third base for both players will be a little bit of a liability actually, because you could actually easily just run an observer and like a high Templar in the middle of the map and do like a storm drop without having to drop, or you could even just camp like vultures on the low ground and get some vision up on high ground. So that's kind of crazy. That's why I was thinking maybe players might take their other. Oh, is he going to be able to fire? Oh no, he doesn't have vision up to that tank. Okay.
That was scary.
Dragoons are going to get scared away.
That was a little risky there. I'm not sure what he was. I think he was trying to get shot and then get 4 shots on the tank, especially if he didn't repair it up. But obviously, Terror is not going to let that sloppy play happen. He gets that fully repaired, and with the barracks there, they go for the barracks. I guess he wasn't able to target it, so not too much option there. Looks like we do have an observatory going down for Bonyth. He is going to block off that natural. He's up to 2 gateways at this point. He's got a robotic support bay, so we can see that there's a Reaver coming out here. And this will be an interesting play to see how the Reaver works out. Right now, the main is completely exposed, which is, oh, nope, I was going to say somewhat typical, but looks like the tank is heading back to a dropship. I stand corrected. I thought he was going to go set up and siege up next to the command center, but instead, Terra is taking the aggressive stance as well and looking to make something happen with a tank and a couple of vultures, I'm assuming on the back line of the main. And at the same time, Bonyth is moving out with something similar, a Reaver and 2 Zealots. That's got to be, I guess, the exact equivalent of what we see coming out of the Terran dropship. Wouldn't you guess?
I would say so, but this dropship is just run right over a probe, so Bonyth is able to see this coming, but can he get back in time? And this is the plot. He's putting down mines to protect, so the Dragoons are slowed down so that he can't actually get to the tank. The tank can take some pot shots, but it looks like with the observer overhead, it's going to be pretty easy to deal with that. Looks like the tank had 6 kills on it, actually, although one of those could have been a Dragoon earlier. But just got a few SCV kills, and he's actually sent the dropship around to the other base as well. Dragoons are there ready to pounce on this vulture. So looks like very minimal damage done by this drop, and I'm actually I'm paying attention to that drop. There's a Reaver drop in the other base as well that you're probably just like, Moletrap, pay attention! And this Reaver's got 5 kills on it, and it's going to get a couple more before a Wraith takes out the Reaver. How about that?
Well, not only that, the Zealots both had 4 kills on them across the 2 of them. Looks like maybe one more, actually. Can he? Yep, he got another one before the Wraith and Vultures clean him up. So very productive. I'd say overall, you'd have to call that a pretty even trade, considering he got what, 7 or 8 between the Vultures and the tank on the probe line, and pretty close to that number for the Reaver and a couple of Zealots. So right now, I'd say they're sitting pretty equal, as Bonyth is looking to possibly take a third, and he's wisely opting to pass by that scary mineral only that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, kind of a crazy play where both players are dropping each other at the exact same time, which is really a testament to the multitasking that these guys have, that they were able to pay attention to their own base being dropped and the drop they were executing at the same time. That is actually like a skill that not many gamers have, and the fact that both players were able to pay attention to both of those shows that they are playing at a really high level here. So very, very impressive. We've got a Stargate down here, by the way, for Bonyth. I'm not sure exactly what he's going to do with that. I'm looking around. I don't see any supporting tech. He may try and get an extra Stargate and go for carriers here in a moment. Is this what we're going to see? And there's the fleet beacon. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to see a carrier switch. You've been paying a lot more attention to the foreign scene than I have, so you might be able to comment on this more. But I feel like from the few streams that I've been watching lately, carriers are in. Carriers are so hot right now. The carrier switch off even 2 bases seems to be pretty common here.
They're even hotter if your name is Bonyth. He is the carrier micro god, and yeah, typically he'll go two Stargates and just pump out. I think 6 or so is really like that critical mass that he looks for. before he starts moving out. And I tell you what, I've never seen carriers last so long. I've watched a few games of his. He streams, by the way, on Twitch.tv. So if you're interested, I'll put a link to both these guys' streams. They're both a lot of fun to watch. But instead of talking about his carriers for a moment, we've got another couple of shuttles moving across the map, looking to do some more damage. One of which has a Reaver and a couple of Zealots, and the other holding a couple of Dragoons. But they are going to run into at least one turret, which that turret's not going to be too scary for 2 shuttles. And we'll see how productive he can be with this. The Goons are down already to try to absorb some hits from a potential siege tank. And, oh no! We got a stupid Scarab out, and it gets stuck in the conga line and gets nothing except a Vulture before being picked up and possibly brought back to home base here.
Oh, and that shuttle just died with, I think a unit. Well, no, I'm sorry. The shuttle with the Reavers over here. The Reaver drops out. Oh my god. Oh, huge Scarab goes off, and the second one does. He got 6 kills on that Reaver before it went down.
Yeah, he tried to get that turret for some reason too. I'm not really sure why he went for that. Maybe it was a misclick, but got a little bit, but not a very equal trade. But you know what building he hit that we haven't talked about?
I was just noticing that.
A nuclear silo? What?
Yeah, I noticed that right as he was going in for the drop, and he just has completed his nuke. I don't see any ghosts on the map yet, but he's getting ready. I mean, I was thinking like, you know what's good against carriers? Nukes. It's pretty good against carriers because they're slow. They're hard to get away from the nuke if they don't see it in time. Oh, he does have a ghost right in front there. So that's kind of strange. I wonder if he's planning on doing some sort of backdoor drop to nuke the mineral line, or if he's getting this in anticipation of carriers, or if this is like for defensive nukes, where if the Protoss is trying to break you, you just nuke the front door, and they have to stand back for 15, 20 seconds.
Sometimes you just got to nuke the stars, man. But he is gonna see, the carriers as he dropped a couple of vultures for a little harass there, and unfortunately it didn't accomplish too much. It looked like he got 2 probes before he was taken out. And now Bonyth is going for his third base. I thought he was going to get that 11 o'clock base earlier. And oh no, the ghost is being followed by an observer. This is just not going to be a good look for him.
3 observers.
You're not getting away from that one, that's for sure. So Bonyth knows what's going on now. He knows ghosts. Cloak ghosts can only mean one thing, and obviously he saw the nuclear silo earlier.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's getting ready for it, but. More importantly, the carrier number, well, a couple of more vultures get in there, but the carrier number is still pretty low. He's got 2 with the third one on the way, third and fourth being made. So there's definitely a window of opportunity for the Terran player if he can manage to move out in the not too distant future.
Yeah, I feel like this would be like a good moment when the carriers are just out. He spent so much money on 2 Stargates, a fleet beacon, the upgrades, and right now what does he have to show for it? Like 8 interceptors, right? So this is a good moment for the Terran to take advantage of that. The Terran Terror has also spent a bunch of money on this nuclear silo and the nuclear facility and ghosts and the covert ops lab. So they've both kind of invested in some tech that aren't really being used at the moment. So I do feel like Terror has a bit of an advantage right now, but I don't know if he has enough of an advantage that he can really capitalize on it. It looks like he's just going to use this moment to try and secure his third rather than go for an attack or a push.
I don't know. Look at the bottom left. I think we're about to hear the words I love to hear.
Oh no! I didn't see that ghost snuck in there.
Neither did Bonyth. So I don't know if Bonyth.
Is he gonna spot it?
He put it on a real nice spot in the middle of the mineral patch. So you're not going to necessarily catch that too easily. And he scans to watch it go down. Oh, brutal.
Oh, he got
brutal.
Every single probe.
What the hell? Why?
Beautiful.
Why does the ghost not get the credit for that kill? He has 0 kills on him. He just took out the entire probe line there. That's unfortunate.
I think the nuclear missile counts as its own unit.
Okay.
Oh, and that ghost is gonna get tracked down and picked off. Oh man, that was beautiful. The radius was such that like the very farthest extent of the nuclear radius where it does the least damage was just still barely able to catch the last probes on the farthest mineral patch. Every single probe goes down there. And Terror now has 66 SCVs to Bonyth having 40 probes. So a huge economic advantage for Terror getting his third base up and having the actual SCVs to mine it.
Yeah, but we do have 4 carriers out on the field, and they don't just have 8 interceptors anymore between the 4 of them. So able to help clear out some mines, keep those Dragoons nice and safe. And now that ledge that we were talking about earlier is getting scary. But there is another Ghost out on the field. Is he going to do a lockdown? I haven't seen a lockdown in a game in forever. But no, he's actually going to walk by. He might be going for another nuke, it looks like. But these carriers, man, look at they've got some kill counts. The one is up to 7, 8. They are taking out SCVs and maybe a Goliath or two as they just wreak havoc on the mineral line here.
Yeah, Bonyth is really able to abuse that that ridge up to the mineral line where basically the SCVs just have to sit there and take it. The Goliaths and the tanks have to sit in the back. And he actually does have all of his tanks kind of in the back, which it makes some sense because if you put them, you know, in a place where they could really easily target down those Dragoons on the low ground, then they'd be easy pickings for the carriers. So he kind of has to keep them back and just has to sacrifice SCVs because he can't really get his forces in a good position on this location on this map. And so there the carriers are going to come in and get some more free kills, and the Goliaths just get target practice on the interceptors, but not really doing any significant damage.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, if you look at the upgrades on the carriers, he's got +2 attack, and he's getting +3. So every second that this game goes on is definitely moving towards Bonyth's favor. He's got another 2 carriers just hanging out in the back, ready to join the fleet here. And Bonyth does some really cool things with his carriers. You'll watch him attack his own buildings, and he's always moving them. So if you select the carriers, look at how many interceptors you also select if you drag a box around them. That's because he doesn't let them redock. And that's what makes Bonyth so terrifying when he plays, is these carriers always have their interceptors at the ready to go and intercept the enemy.
Is that why they're called interceptors?
I don't know, but
I never knew. No,
but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think these carriers are super scary, but it looks like he's gonna have to do a little bit more damage with them. He's kind of backing off.
We got a nuke. We got a nuke. Mid left. Oh, Bonyth sees it though.
Oh, he's pulled off the probes. Okay.
Still, that was a beautiful position nuke. I'm surprised. I'm actually impressed that Bonyth saw that. That was a tough one to see.
And that Ghost is once again gonna get hunted down. Blood splatter on the stone there. But yeah, what I was thinking about is that I feel like Bonyth has to do some more damage with these carriers. So he's kind of been a little bit passive with them for the last few minutes. He's building up a lot of money in the bank, and but right now Terror has a very significant economy and is taking his 4th base, and he's kind of letting Terror catch up and get maxed. So it's kind of like, I feel like Bonyth might want to do some more damage, and hold that thought because never mind, Terror feels that it's time to push across this middle of the map and go for his own push. But no, he's gonna have to return to deal with the counterattack by Bonyth with the carriers to try and save his 3rd.
That was some pretty good timing by Terror, but honestly, he needed to leave, I think, a few seconds earlier, and Bonyth is just seizing the opportunity. He's got a whole bunch of unsieged tanks, which is going to be perfect for the Dragoons to go in and get some pot shots. And what are they going to fight? Goliaths? He'll fight Goliaths with Dragoons all day long, and now the carriers are going to pick off these tanks that are just in no man's land. They should not be that forward in this battle. And the tanks in the back aren't even sieged. That's terrible for him, but he's probably trying to avoid too much splash damage with the Zealots as he takes them out. And he manages to deflect Bonyth for the time being. But what's going on? Does Bonyth have all of his carriers out? I think he does. But he's making a couple more here at the same time. So he's going to be up to 8 as he just slowly whittles down this Terran army.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crucial way that you want to deal with that situation, is you want to try and pick off the tanks with the carriers. So the Dragoons can deal with the Goliaths very easily, and vice versa. So very well fought by Terror. He was able to actually kind of keep. He just had enough tanks. Now here's the crucial thing though. He had enough tanks that he could lose some to the carriers and still have the ground force to deal with those dragoons. But tanks are something that you spend the entire game building up your tank force, and then if you lose them, they're gone, and it's really hard to have the money to recreate them. So, you know, see, you can see Terra doesn't have very much gas in the bank right now, and I actually had them switched. I saw that Terra was maxed, and I was saying earlier that Bonyth was, so I got that confused. But point being though, he's only down to about 8 or 9 tanks right now, and is that gonna be enough to deal with? Well, I guess Bonyth doesn't really have a very large ground army, so it might be enough.
The thing is, Bonyth again, he's got some Templar out on the field now too, though, and they've got just about 2 storms in them each. But 8 carriers on this map with the features that it has and how much he can bounce around this middle, I don't know if Terra can deal with this with such a static army as these siege tanks. Just watch them. They just keep sieging and unsieging, and there's the storm that we were talking about. 8 kills.
Storm drop.
11 kills. Beautiful job from him. And the other Templar's got another 2 storms ready to go if and when this fight goes into the main round here. Looks like we are seeing some pot shots coming around from Terror, trying to take out probes in return on the right or the left side, that exposed mineral line. A couple of good spider mines, but he's not going to accomplish too much. He is going to find out there's a base at the top left as well, which he probably knew about. But with the cannons there, he's not going to be able to accomplish too much there either. And right now, I think Terror really wants to buy some time because Bonyth is maxed out again, and Terror is looking to be in a tough spot, but he's going for the flank.
He's moving in from the side. If he can get the ground forces down low enough that he can actually move in with the Goliaths and directly attack the carriers, it'll be huge. He is finally sieged up. There's only a handful of Dragoons left. Couple storms going down, but it's not enough to turn the tide. There's actually so many Goliaths here. There's almost 24 Goliaths on the ground, and at a certain point, if you don't have enough Dragoons, then, you know, if the Dragoons are outnumbered 2-1 by the Goliaths, it doesn't even matter that Dragoons are a little bit better because you just got too many forces. And there's a 30 supply lead, though, for Bonyth at this point, so he just needs to get everything into action. And to bear, he's pushing in, and actually, it looks like he might take out all these forces. The reinforcements for Bonyth are coming in and are going to push those Goliaths back onto the tanks. There's only 1 tank left, and this is going to be just the absolute demolishment of Terror's forces. I don't know if he has enough reinforcements to hold off a counterattack, but Bonyth seems like he might not want to go in yet.
I don't think he can. I don't think he can hold this. I mean, he's down to 134, and you said it earlier. I think you're 100% right. As those tanks go down, there's just no reinforcing them quickly enough. I mean, how many factories? He's only got 2 factories that can even make tanks. So everything else is bound to be Goliaths or Vultures. And Bonyth isn't even going to deal with the main base anymore. He's going after the Expo. No, he's going to turn and fight. And this time he's just taking out Goliaths with these carriers. He doesn't care at all. And I don't think he's lost a single carrier this entire game, despite the fact that Terror has had, I don't know, dozens of Goliaths fighting them this whole time. Maybe he just lost one there right now, but we've got 2 more to deal with the one that dropped out, and he's down to 3 Goliaths. There's no way that he's going to be able to defend this. I think Bonyth's got it wrapped up.
Yeah, when you've got more carriers than they have Goliaths, then it's time to leave the game, and Terror realizes that and does, in fact, exit the game, and so the game is going to go to Bonyth. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. The fact that he was able to control his carriers well enough the whole game that he didn't lose them, and he was able to keep creating gateway units to support them the entire time rather than trying to spend a lot of money on replacing carriers, meant that he was able to kind of maintain an advantage and just played that beautifully. He always kept them in a spot where they could back up away on top of the Dragoons to make sure the Goliaths couldn't get too close, or they could back up over a ridge or something along those lines to keep the carriers safe. And, you know, once you've got 8 carriers out, it's just too many. It's almost impossible to have enough Goliaths to really deal with it.
Yeah, I really think the only way Terror was going to win that game was when we talked about it earlier. I didn't mean to go that far back, but let's see if we can get to the critical point in the match, at least from my perspective as we went through this. Although the nuke was really the most critical point of the match. That was by far like the most exciting thing that we
I
saw.
thought it was going to be more critical than it was. He took out a third of Bonyth's economy in one shot, and I thought that was going to cripple him, but he was able to be efficient enough that it didn't really matter in the long run. Because he didn't even try and rebuild probes. Like, he went down from 60 something to 40 probes, and yeah, so there he was at 34 probes for a moment, and he only built up a few more, and I don't think he was really spending a lot of his attention trying to build up his economy again as much as just getting units out.
That point though, so he's got all these tanks here, and remember when he was just going to move out for the first time, and you called it, right? He was like, oh, he's going to move out, but nope, never mind. Control Z that one. He, unfortunately, that was, I think, when he right here. I think this is actually, if he had gotten out to the middle earlier, he could have had some semblance of map control, but he never established that map control. So Bonyth had 2/3 of this map to do whatever he wanted with his carriers and very mobile army against a pretty static army. If Terra was able to set up around this central nub, I don't know, this black hole that you don't want to jump through.
And look at what's going on right now. There's a battle going on, and 2/3 of Terra's units are standing in the back not doing anything because of this choke.
Yep.
He's not able to fight with his full army, and Bonyth is able to be like, all right, well, I'll use my whole army to fight like a quarter of yours. Sure, let's do it.
It's beautiful play, and not only that, every time he backs up to buy time for the carriers, he's buying time to make another 1 or 2 interceptors, which just refreshes his power level. It's very good play. The carrier play, I think, is the best I've seen.
Super strong. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sure.
Well, hey, that was a lot of fun. I had a good time casting that. I hope you did as well, and I hope our viewers enjoyed it for sure. I think this one I'm going to be posting on my channel. Make sure you go check out Moletrap. I'll link him in the description below, although let's be honest, you probably are already subscribed to him.
Yeah, I think most of the people that are watching my videos these days are people that like just never unsubscribed from like 10 years ago, and if they were subscribed to me 10 years ago, they were probably subscribed to you 10 years ago also.
Probably.
So a lot of the same folks.
The other thing is worth mentioning, since Moletrap hasn't, is he also streams on Twitch, so check him out there. I think it's just twitch.tv/Moletrap, right?
That's correct. Yeah, thanks.
I'm impressed nobody got that before you did. Having a YouTube channel. Maybe did you get that on Justin TV before they became Twitch?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've had my. In fact, there's a way you can find out the other day, and I looked at it, and I think my account was created. My Twitch account was created in like 2007 or 8 or something like that, before Twitch even existed. So yeah, it's an old one.
Awesome. Well, you heard it. Check him out there. He's. I was watching recently. You were streaming the first player campaign a bit and demolishing the campaign.
The campaign is not really that big of a challenge, so it's not a lot to brag about. I'm mostly playing it. You know, it's like I read it for the articles, right? I'm mostly playing it for the plot. That's all.
The Playboy approach. I like it. It's good. I don't know what you're talking about by reading the articles. So.
I don't either. But no, yeah, I just realized it'd been a while since I knew anything about the plot, and so I'm trying to play through all 9 campaigns of StarCraft, Brood War, and StarCraft 2, and kind of just get the whole plot of the entire series in my brain at once. So
nice. Once you do that, you can explain it to me, because I don't know any of it. I just know, like, Kerrigan gets pissed off at some point and becomes a Zerg lady and then tries to kill everybody. I think that's the major plot line, but might be wrong.
That basically describes everything. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, spoiler alert.
Sorry.
Now you don't have to play the campaign ever. You know what happens.
That's like spoilering Star Wars 20 years later, you know? It's like this game is so old. I think it's like a classic car by this point. It's just naturally, maybe that's 25 years. So we're almost at classic car range for Brood War, or at least StarCraft.
Yeah, no, it's been weird to do. I've been doing these old OSL games from like 2003 or 4, and it's funny because it's like I'm trying not to spoil it, but it's like this game was played 17 years ago. Like, but it's legit because some people still haven't seen them because they're so old. So you also kind of don't want to spoil it, but
Well,
it's a bit bizarre.
if you're me, it's easy. I just can't remember. So if you just watching it fresh again, the curse of a terrible memory ends up being a benefit.
There's one book that I've read 5 times because I've read it when I was a kid, and then I forgot it and read it again 6 or 7 years later, and then forgot what happened, read it again 6 or 7 years later again. And
was it called Memento?
It was an old Magic the Gathering novel, actually.
Oh wow!
So
wow, that's a blast from the past. Although they're doing a comeback too. I mean, Magic the Gathering's huge. That's Day 9 plays a lot of that lately. I know.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. All the stuff from when I was a kid is kind of back again.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I think with that, we're going to call the game, and I appreciate everybody watching. Make sure, again, go check out Moletrap, give him a follow on Twitch, and we'll see you in the next commentary. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.